Hi.
Good morning, my dear.
The town has been really not as busy as I expected, given who's still here, but it's been a lot. There's been a lot to juggle, especially with me and that offer I made for Natalie, and I am admittedly almost worried that I won't do it justice compared to how they did it back in the day.
I think you'll do just fine, Miko.
Well, I kind of listened to them with a bit of disdain, so hopefully that doesn't leak through.
That's not surprising, but I think my dear Lotus will do a wonderful job teaching.
Thank you.
Aside from all of that...
Yes?
You know when Vixen came into the house last week? Snuck in through the upstairs window.
Wait, that was Vixen?
And we... I thought you knew.
I swear to fucking God.
I thought you knew.
I actually was a bit too surprised in a moment that it didn't even occur to me that it might have been them.
Well, yes, it was them. I found them, actually, after they bolted from the house. Outside of Amari's home, listening in on Amari talking with Oracle Harmony. Let's just say I wasn't in the nicest of moods, and I interrupted her listening in. Aisha popped out to apprehend Vixen. Granted, of course, I didn't know this was Vixen at this point. So when I was searching for weapons on this mysterious person, guess what I happened to find? Fluffy tails. Wasn't until we moved off to the side and she said, asked me about the trade route. Only one person knows about that trade route between my home and one other place. That is Vixen. It was further confirmed after we went inside Varys' home. She removed her disguise. That wasn't all, though. Her reasoning for coming into my home and listening on top of the steps. She said that I am an asset. An asset to her and to other people in this town. Not friend. Asset. And that hurts. It hurts to hear that.
Please give me a reason. Please give me one.
I want to. I know. Maybe this might also be another one, but I cannot make that choice for you. Vixen's plan. How much do you know of it?
I am uncertain about which one, given that they ended up being present with the gathering of all of us that so constantly got interrupted from what I hear.
So I walked in on. Vixen met with me a couple weeks ago, over tea. To which she explained her goals being here. She wants to do 2 things. 1, she wants the ability for the Kitsune to not be in hiding anymore. An admirable goal, to say the least.
One I actually
That
agree
you-
with.
Indeed. The second part of this goal is one that I am afraid of, and I know one for a fact you will not like. She seeks to restore the world's magic. All of the magic. Lesser, greater, all of it.
She can certainly try.
And I think she might have, to a point. That's what worries me. Remember that cube she found? Remember those
Yes.
other 2 artifacts? From Oracle Prudence's time?
Yes, they're ones that I remember you telling me about multiple times.
I don't know, but she might try to do something with them. I know where the other 2 are kept, assuming they haven't been moved, but I have no idea where she put the cube. She took that away.
My gut feeling would just be the last place anyone would think to look, which is where it was originally found, given that they weren't alone there.
Indeed. I remember Kane saying it was in some kind of cave. Where said cave is, I don't know.
I mean, there's only so many caves around here, unless it was one that opened up recently. It would likely be the same one that was originally a quarry for the town, is what I would say.
I don't know.
I haven't
It's
been out.
possible.
I haven't been out that far, so I wouldn't really be able to say. But
I don't know of this cave myself. The furthest I've gone was where the Battle of the Blood Moon was. I didn't see the cave on my way there or back. Granted, I wasn't necessarily looking for one.
exactly.
Regardless. I know you don't care for her right now. And quite frankly, I am also upset about her.
I'm just saying, she's lucky
I
that
mean,
she
how's that?
ducked out of that grab I made out of towards her. She would have not been leaving the building completely intact.
I had a feeling. And I will not get in the way of that should it come to it. That is something for you, not for me.
Sadly, if I'd done something like that, it probably would have had a negative consequence, given that they're one of the people that knows who I am.
I know. No. For now. Keep our eyes and ears open. As always.
I can easily do that.
As can I. You gonna be okay today?
I just had a very busy day a week ago.
I know.
A lot
Hey.
came up and things that I still don't really know how to handle.
I know. I know. I want you to remember one thing for me.
What's that?
No matter how scared you are, no matter how alone you feel, you're not alone. Even if I am not here standing right beside you, I am still with you. I'm right here. And I'm right here. I'm there beside you. Okay? I want you to remember that for me.
I just feel like I'm stuck in the middle of something that I don't know which way to be pulled towards.
I know. I know. will be here beside you regardless.
I don't know if you know exactly what I'm referring to or not.
Maybe not, but my statement still stands.
She's become more and more readily apparent over the week. I actually picked up on why it was so especially awkward to see her again. I was trying to remember how place why it was I felt like she was looking at me so strangely, and it kind of occurred to me that it was the same kind of look you give me.
She cares about you.
I think it goes deeper than that.
Perhaps. But I don't know. I'm not her. I cannot speak for her.
I just don't know how to respond to such a thing. I have spent far longer not wanting or feeling worthy of such things, and now I have, in relatively quick succession, 2 people who are pushing past that in a way that I'm not inherently trying to push away.
It is something that I am still new to myself. I've never felt this way about someone. And I am much younger than you, dear.
Just a little bit.
Yes. But I am learning as I go. But I am following perhaps my heart's desire. I cannot tell you what to do. I can give you advice if you'd like it. But
how do I avoid hurting one or the other? It feels like there's a choice that has to be made, but I don't... Either option feels bad because of the impact it'll have on the other from how it feels.
do you believe that if you were to choose her, you would hurt me?
After the kind of things you said to me, yes.
Miko. Lotus. That would not hurt me. In fact, if anything, if you were to choose her, it would make me very happy. Either choice would make me happy.
As somebody who's never had any connections like this, I don't want to have to choose.
Then why not choose both?
I've been alone for so long. Not even just with matters of here, but in general.
You could choose both. There's nothing saying that you can't.
And then there's the other matter.
Hmm.
The fact that I am open to you, but to her even now I am still a liar in so many ways. You know
Hmm.
how stained my name is. She does
Yes.
not. And I doubt she would be as forgiving about it as you are.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know her. I want to speak with her more than anything, to get to know her. But, as you say, he doesn't know. You don't know how she will react, and you're scared of what might happen. And I would be too. I am, in fact, scared for what might happen.
After all, I spent so long trying to get her to hate me and push her away just out of arguably childish spite. And none of that worked, but if she actually knew what I've done since then, I feel like that would be the thing that finally did it. And at the one time that I don't
But it would
want her
also...
to be pushed away.
Yes. And it would also paint you more a target than anything. And I don't want that.
Why did they find that? What happened?
Yeah.
If you want, ask questions about it. Ask how she feels about the Black Lotus.
That's a dangerous thing.
What are her thoughts?
That's
I know.
incredibly dangerous.
Would you rather I do it then? I wish to speak with her today.
I'm not going to tell you what you
Your
can
name?
and cannot do. Just
Hmm.
make sure it's something that you believe is the right thing to do.
I always do what I believe is the right thing to do, Miko.
I'm well aware of that. Doesn't mean that I can't reiterate it, because in this case,
No. I know.
every time you would ask, if
I
you were
know.
to ask me that question, it would be no, but that doesn't mean that it should be. In that way, you've kind of ruined me.
I'm sorry.
I used to be so much more confident about owning that side of me. And now it's... Now, in many ways, it's
Hey.
another source of shame.
Hey. Come
Is
here.
there somebody in the...
Yes, they're watching. Yes, it's Iceheart and Misaki.
I cannot
fine.
have a moment of vulnerability to save my fucking life!
Lotus. Hey,
What?
come here. It's okay. It's okay. No matter what happens, I'm here beside you.
I should try to find Natalie. See when she
With the
wishes
people we
to
have?
have her.
Yes, I would like to be there for that as well.
Get him over there.
Mhm.
Ah. Good morning, you two.
Darling.
Good morning.
Good morning. Haven't happened to have seen Almari this morning, did you?
I believe she's in the
She's
company
left
of...
early and didn't say anything.
She was in the company of Grace and Harmony just a moment ago. I believe they were... I can take you their direction if
How
you'd
much
like.
longer are they going to be here?
My guess is likely, judging from how different this place was, likely to their initial, probably perceptions. I would probably say this would be around the time that they'd be preparing to leave. Sometime today, is my guess.
Something to consider then, I guess.
Would you like me to go see if I cannot nudge her back in your direction?
No, it's fine. She's busy with her work. With her duties.
Yes, but
Just worry about her, that's all.
she's
Either way, thank you.
she's used to doing these things. And also, while I'm here, were you still interested in the offer that I gave you last week?
Yeah, I've kind of not really thought of much else this week, so especially with present company in town, it's sort of
Have you considered
yeah.
have you considered talking to them without just about their own experiences, without asking why? I'm sure they would be happy to tell you.
I considered it, and I don't know. The problem I see is when might I ever get another chance?
Exactly. Granted, if you missed an opportunity here and you wanted to try again, I do know how to reach out to...
Keep the warm air in.
I have sent letters before to Grace if you ever need to get a hold of her in the future. I could help you do that.
Got it. Maybe.
But yes, in regards to the offer, I am mostly free today, although I do believe Almari wishes to try to gather everybody again and try to have a do-over at the attempted group talk
Yeah.
that kept getting interrupted at some point.
Yeah, I'll try not to interrupt this time. Just do me a favor and make sure that she doesn't get you know, again.
She got Aisha.
Yeah. The bruise only lasted a couple days, but
I'll keep an eye on them.
I don't know. I don't really
I've-
understand the point she was trying to make.
I've noticed
She
they
didn't
have...
really want to talk about it much.
I noticed that they were also staring at me a lot this past week, so... I assume I have either done something to upset her, or it was simply the fact that I was in the room where it happened.
Given everything that they learned this week, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a bit
I don't know
wary.
I don't know
would
the
be
personal
too, given the
context, but
situation.
it doesn't excuse their actions any, so lashing
No,
out
no,
against
of course
others is rarely the best
No,
recourse of action. But yes,
no, of
it
course
is
not.
more a whenever you feel free for it.
Sorry, don't mean to
Yes.
interrupt. You two
Hi.
are talking. Natalie, I need to speak to you. You in business, whenever you're free. It's sooner rather than later.
Sure.
It's not going to be a very
I
long...
need to make certain that someone is.
It's not going to be a long gathering
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
that
no.
happens, so on your own time.
Like I said, I'll not interrupt this time around. What seems to be the trouble?
I meant
Let's say
us
since
I
personally,
quite literally
but
cannot discuss
yes.
it or show it around anyone that's not UN right now.
Okay.
Well, in that case,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I will take my leave so that you can
Let
have
me
that
see if
interaction.
Miss Novel can take care of it for a bit.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt.
I will.
It's a day today.
You're fine.
Actually, do you mind waiting here for just a minute, if you can? It's okay.
Perfectly fine. The situation is dealt with. I just need to have a professional of the other side take a look at something for me. So
Gotcha.
I can wait wherever
that's fine.
you need me to.
Maybe wait nearby. Just you know how she gets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever
Actually,
you wish
don't,
to,
but
if
I'll be
you
around.
just come
I'll
find
be
me.
over.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
I'm starting the first week in the corner. Excuse me. I apologize.
Like somewhere around
Also,
she
good morning,
found it like
Landry.
under those stairs like the first week they were here. Somebody just
Yeah,
Miko
I found
saved
it.
me.
I didn't steal it. I found it.
I don't know. You seem
Weird.
perfectly
Like,
safe
you
right
might
now.
wanna
What's
turn
the
around.
problem?
You might want to turn around.
Oh. Yes. I was
They're
totally
going
gonna
nuts
check it,
with earthen phrases.
There's no saving you.
For a moment?
Ah,
By the way, Almari,
Oh my god, look at the traction.
I just oh my god, what is that?
Didn't work.
by the way, Almari,
The other word is a quiet
Your dear
intelligence.
beloved is
I
so
need the hat.
preoccupied with
I-
thoughts about you
I
this
just want
morning.
to check one thing. What is that? Tell me.
She
Tell me
was
first.
so sad to hear that you had woken up early and wasn't
Just
there to
take the hat. I just want to look on the side.
Oh, okay.
See the.
Seems upset, okay.
Is there anyone's name on the tag?
maybe you should go back and say hi to her, Amari. I think she needs you.
Okay. Thank you.
Ah, she may have gotten tied up in.
Oh, I had one.
Yes.
Oh, so you're allowed to do it, but whenever I do it to you, I get the death glare.
Is that called BDSM? There's something about tying up.
What?
What?
I'm walking away from this conversation.
Ah.
And also, there's a difference between just coming up and talking to someone in person and glaring in through the window for.
I'm not glaring, I'm just watching, waiting,
Yeah, look.
wondering.
It's not that weird. Hold on, I'll stand over there and you'll see.
What's wrong, Miko?
Weird.
Let me have my moments of
fine.
vulnerability, damn it.
Okay.
Miko. Miko. Oh, they can hear me.
Of course, darling. of
Yes,
course.
I can hear you. You're right by the
yes,
window.
Kabuki.
How is that weird? It's fine.
It's weird when
That is
they're
a
from the
strange
outside.
location for.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't build the houses.
May I?
I don't
What was
know.
the question?
Did he sort out a time for when Natalie wants to do the thing?
Oh.
I had spoken to her, and it was more. I think it's more just whenever they feel up to it. But I did. Given their preoccupation with the subject matter, I personally said that, honestly, it might do them good, even if they're afraid or nervous, to just take the opportunity to ask the perspective of one who actually went through it without looking at it as a waste of time.
Revealing anything? Hmm.
But the only thing is that I know at some point I have potential arrangements with them again because of the group gathering that we were trying to have. A proper conversation kept getting interrupted by people coming up with their own agendas and lack of decorum, for lack of a better word.
Okay, I'll listen. Yeah, what's BDSM? I've been told you're explaining.
Ooh. Luxed. I'm good. Oh. Hmm.
But yes, I pretty much just said I would more do it on her time, and well,
Fair enough.
if it happens, it happens.
I wish I could.
I asked if she was interested in it still, and she said yes, so at the very least I have that, but I am uncertain
I need to
about
try and explain to her better about mine. It's hard. How do you explain something that you just do instinctually for 7 decades?
Well, to a certain degree, there is one thing that is a bit of a key difference that I feel like is worth noting. That being the the greatest difference between lesser and greater is that, well, both have their own practices, ceremonies behind them, depending on who's talking about what. The biggest key is that lesser magic was done effectively on command. It was only something that was born of actions by those seeking to use it for whatever purposes they were able to create for it. But when it comes to greater magic, the same cannot be said. You do not perform it on demand. You perform it when it comes to you.
I see.
In fact, the biggest aspect of the lesson is not so much about how things were done. The ceremony behind their practices was, in essence, little more than meditative practices, opening awareness to one's surroundings. Because an oracle has never chosen when or where they have their visions.
I see.
Their training was not to have visions, but to be receptive and ready to shape the vision when it came.
I see.
Yes.
I am not.
So that is the main difference, I would
Morning,
say.
we'd say.
That would be the main difference, is
Hmm.
when one is selected for their sensitivity, the reason why they were always selected or nurtured into those positions because of it was because of the fact that they were never, it was never a matter of just being able to reach out and do it whenever they wanted. They had to be ready for it at any given time.
I see. Good morning, Maklo.
Good morning.
He's holding toilet paper.
We've been searching for you.
Oh.
You are one of the people that I would have recommended to talk with Oracle Grace. Had you not already when you spoke in there?
Well, it sounds like you have a
Yes.
have a date right now.
I'll come find you later.
Yes.
Yes. If she's available, I would love to speak with her.
Hasn't happened yet, Star, although you heard a little glimpse of it just now.
Should be able to watch over from the rooftops. I asked for a specific reason.
I will take care of the back door for you, Down.
I'm the one that gave it to her to sell in the first place. A long time ago now.
I
Yes.
heard the request if they need a easy way to get up there, or if they want to watch from up there. I can let them through my house, if they'd like.
I would appreciate that. If that is alright with you.
I do not mind.
Thank you, my friend.
I will follow them.
Very
I will
well.
be keeping watch.
Darwin, just to make sure, I will lock the back door so that no one can get through. You won't have to worry about that one, at least.
Yes.
Shall we then?
Just because she was choosing her words carefully as to not startle Miss Grace. After the talk that was in there last, there was somebody that let themselves in through a window closer to the roof and was hiding in the house.
Understood.
She wants to avoid that.
Gladly.
But yes, there's an easy way to get out onto there where there's a rather good vantage point through one of the windows up here. If you'd like. It's a little bit of a leap, but just be careful. And the spot in question was that right over there. I believe they let themselves in through there. But that is her roof, so if you're going to be watching, that is where if somebody were to try to sneak in, it would be through there. Whenever you... yes. Whenever you wish to come back down, you're free to go back in through the way you came out. I'll leave the door unlocked so you can let yourself out. Just make sure you close it behind you.
Thank you.
And there's the alternate version as well, what you can do with a leg.
A carbe down.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, go up against that wall over there, Isar. I'll show you. Then I can show Varys how it's done.
It's an important thing.
Okay.
He's up in a position where he has vision. Oversight, so...
Alright, then you just
As long as the back door is locked, if anyone tried to break in, we'd hear it. So, I got the front.
They have sight over the third way in.
To me once. He would lean against the wall and just be like...
Window up there.
And then the one
Yep.
way he tried to do it,
There's
he
an
would
opening
lean
up on the
against
roof
wall
that someone
and
can
I'm
fit
observant.
through.
Yeah, Mana, you gotta do the other one, though. Oh, you can't.
Asking something importune. What are you doing?
Enjoying a nice bowl of porridge and a cup of tea. What does it look like I'm doing?
Well, you're stirring the pot of something, and it's not porridge.
It's not a pot, it's a bowl.
Yeah, so it seems.
What have I walked in on?
So it seems.
I'm not actually certain.
Two old men arguing.
Two old men arguing.
Apparently that.
It's not even an argument, it's more of a discussion
But
that
not
looks like an
arguing
argument
about
from the outside.
them arguing.
Thank you for that clarification. I 100% understand now.
Of course.
I think the phrase we're looking for here is bullshit. This is professional bullshit happening.
Aye, yes. Bullshit.
Yes. Stand up philosophy, if you will. Bullshitting. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you're some sort of bullshit artist?
We call that oracle talk.
Don't kill me! Don't kill me this
Oh my goodness. I feel like I lost a lot of brain power just through that one comment alone.
Don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare fall back. I am. He is all of his strength. Don't do this to me.
Okay, I am. Okay. Right. I'm on the up here now. Okay.
What's going on here? What's this about you?
That's all I am.
He's trying to steal my money.
I'm showing them the advanced version. Don't worry about it.
Shit, I gotta find Zilla.
Oh, okay.
I think I just got assaulted. Will you open the store? I'll be right there.
I'm sorry,
Don't worry
Daddy.
about it.
Sorry this happened to you.
Don't worry.
What the fuck
I'll
is
get revenge
happening?
on Darwin. Everyone daddy as well.
Do you need me to take care of it?
I cannot keep up with whatever is happening
It
right
makes
now.
sense that they be different and strange
I
to us, but
can't even
It also makes sense
begin
that
to fathom what I
we
just
adapt
walked
to
up
them a
on, and
little
I'm
bit
afraid
here
to
in Val.
ask questions.
We're learning coding
Brandavia.
and like language from the other world.
my apologies.
Stay safe. And also watch out for anybody trying to sow discord and chaos into your mind. It has been happening all day everywhere I go.
Pardon?
Watch out for Discord kittens.
My apologies. It is
Also that, whatever that
It
means.
is my mistake to have not
I think
recalled you.
that's what it is. It makes a lot of sense. Be safe, Daddy.
Pardon? Why do you keep saying that? She called me that too. Why do you keep calling people?
It's a word.
I can't
for
even
friendship.
do that.
Company, I believe you should be fine for but a moment. I believe
sorry.
you're
Neither can I.
When you are done with your business.
Right? You've been over there.
What are any of you
I
fucking
don't know what's
talking
happening.
about?
This is what I mean. This has been happening all day.
not?
This is what I'm
I
meaning.
have.
This has been happening all day.
What's the correct pronunciation?
Excuse me. Walking away.
What the
I don't
fuck
know.
do you mean this has been happening all the— Yes.
Wait, what?
Have you both been able to speak to Harmony yet?
May I pull you aside? I spoke to him
Yes.
basically first thing as soon as he walked into town.
Sure.
Alright.
I have not yet.
I have an appointment with
Somewhere
Harmony
in
today.
particular.
Yeah, she's just repeating what Wolfgang is
So.
telling her.
I understand.
Can I help you, ma'am?
Yes, this question pertains to the security of the oracles. Why is it that you've made a habit of stopping by the oracle's dwelling every night since they arrived?
Checking on her. Making sure she... wanting to talk to her, but not having the right words to.
Her meaning.
Grace.
If you wish to speak with Grace, then you can schedule a meeting with the oracle.
It's... I've had a talk with them already. It's more... personal things, I suppose.
You're sweating slightly. Something has you on edge.
Everything to do with her has me... has... for quite a long time. If you're worried that's something about...
I take this to mean that you have a history with the oracle, then.
Yes, we knew each other. I believe it was about 6 or 7 years back. While she was still at Prima.
I see. Well, your past history with Oracle Grace endanger her or Harmony in any way?
No. I would say it would be more I worry of somehow unintentionally making her feel sad. Because I don't know how to respond to the things that became apparent to me that only really showed themselves after a reunion.
I see. Do you have intimate feelings towards the Oracle?
What? No! I mean, I don't know. It was more that I tried everything in my power back then because I didn't want her to have any good feelings towards me. And the story behind that is a long and arguably silly one at best, but for whatever reason, none of it worked, and it only seemed to backfire, and that scared me. As I have never been used to anyone regarding me as a friend, let alone anything better than that.
Because you've spent most of your life in hiding?
In a sense, I'd say it'd be more that I've been burned a lot of times when it came to making close friends and then seeing them be lost one way or another. There's only so many times you can feel that pain before you just don't want to have connections at all.
I suppose I'll make my last question for you blunt then. Miss Miko, are you one of the kitsune within this town?
And if I were, what would that make you feel about me?
Nothing one way or the other. My job isn't to feel.
Well, that's worrisome. You're starting to sound like me. Back then. But seeing as it's the topic of discussion, and I presume you are asking out of the fact that I was present with all of the others who appear to have shown themselves one way or the other. Yes.
Understood. I am under no orders to hunt down kitsune.
Well, I appreciate it because that would be a very... I would simply say it plain. I would, if you were, I would not be very kind about my response. Granted, I think anybody would be fair to say that if there were anybody...
There are many people here who are not kind about their responses to me. Most people choose to dislike a servant of the Empire.
I have my own thoughts and feelings on the matter, but it is more a matter of seeing as being here has shown that a title alone does not dictate one's disposition. After all, Varus is in essence one as well, and yet generally well regarded. It is more whether or not somebody lets that title define who they are as a person to the point of pushing others away from wanting to see their own thoughts and feelings on the matter. I know you said it's not your job to feel, but I still believe that you're entitled to feel your own way about the things that happen around you without having to look at it through the lens of being any one person's servant.
No, that entitlement was taken from me. Regardless, I have asked everything I need to. As I said, I'm under no orders to hunt Kitsune. So, simply put, do not make yourself a problem, and I won't have to do anything about it. Unlike the mayor.
Yes, I heard about that. I'm not going to tell you how to live your own life, but lashing out at others for having stress is not the best way to handle it. Believe me, I've been there. A bearer of bad news is only that. They are not the one who caused it.
I believe you misunderstand the situation. Or that it has not been communicated well to you.
Well then. The thing I said. Having your own thoughts and feelings on the matter. Now would be the perfect chance to show me that you understood what I meant. What do you feel about what happened?
It's less what I feel and more about the facts of the situation. The mayor decided to not stop me from taking an action that she knew would get me hurt in the end. What the mayor failed to understand is that when I am punished by my master, she pulls up a small vial of blood. It is not me who is punished.
Maybe I don't know.
The mayor caused that of her own choice.
Maybe I do not understand the full situation, and I doubt I ever will, as I am not in your shoes. But from what I have put together, and things that make their way around to me one way or the other, have you considered that it is not out of a sense of recklessness, but that they are trying to help show that these punishments are so that you don't question it.
You misunderstand once again. I fully know well what the mayor's intention was, but good intentions do not build a good outcome.
Do you think I don't know that? I am well aware that good intentions have never solely dictated the outcome that they get. I've done more than enough to know that personally. However, the fact doesn't change that they are lashing out because they are afraid of a change in that dynamic. And one born of fear is not going to do you good in the long run. Now, if you wish to remain that is your choice, but if you want it to change, at some point, outstretched hands have to be grabbed towards. They can be held there as long as they need to be, but that relies on you. Maybe I am again misunderstanding, but I feel that if somebody was truly worth serving, they would not be using fear as a means to keep someone in line. They shouldn't need fear if they are someone truly worthy of your respect. Because as you can see with the ones who have been here visiting, they are perfectly capable of garnering respect through their disposition alone, not because they can threaten others.
You said earlier that they are lashing out because they are afraid of change. However, I think that is the very reason everyone lashes out.
Well, they've already gone through change, whether they liked to or not. And that change was the very thing that was giving them the ability to demand respect rather than earn it.
What is more worth it to you? A chaotic change that leaves pain and death in its wake? Or things remaining peacefully the same?
Given the life I've led, I don't think I have the ability to answer that in an unbiased way. But I have personally believed that a world born on inherent suffering of those who are deemed unfit or unworthy of the same station as others is not one that should be celebrated or enshrined for decades to come. And unfortunately, much like a sickness that settles in and slowly changes the way of life for somebody well before they realize it, those who have the power to change things but use it to enshrine themselves in a position of unquestionable right to dictate who is and isn't worthy of providence, for lack of a better word. That is why I supported one such person in the past. That is why I support one such person now. Because they look at that and they understand that while it is easier, it is not right to sit and allow some to be left on the ground, unable to get up, while others walk over them, blissfully unaware that their lifestyles, their things they take for granted, are born on the suffering of others. I dedicated my life to seeing that such things were not allowed to remain unchallenged. I do believe myself to be in the right for it, for standing up for those who have not had a voice for a long time. Change inherently means uncertainty, but that does not mean that it is inherently wrong.
Miss Miko, I do not believe there is such a thing as equality in this world, no matter how the empire or lack thereof is run. The fact of nature is things are unequal. You speak of those being left on the ground. Let me give you a new perspective on that. Would you tear the wings from birds simply because they were born able to fly?
No, but to use your own example, to demand that all birds have their wings clipped simply for being what they are is wrong. Equality in this case is not that they are that everybody is the same, but that they are allowed to live as themselves without being afraid of the fact that them being themselves will result in them being treated as lesser. Everyone should have the right to live as themselves without having to live a lie to suit the needs of other people, or because they have been designated as the source of blame whenever anything goes wrong, whether or not it is their fault to bear.
Regardless, there will still always be inequality. There will be people who are wealthier than others. There will be people who are born less able than others. People will be looked down upon for their statuses.
And if one uses their status as a means to oppress others solely because they have it, they are not worthy of respect. Just because they can, doesn't mean that they should. If your sole purpose in life, or anyone's sole purpose in life, is to use the position that is given or obtained to ensure that others do not get to have even the hope of a life that they are happy with, they are the ones who are in the wrong. They should be living their
Miko,
life.
I must...
Go on.
I must return to my duties. However, before I go, I will clear up 2 last misconceptions that you and many others have. 1. I have only been a servant for a little over a year. 2. I do not believe anyone is worthy of my respect.
And yet you allow them to force it upon you.
I got done well. She's gonna be my assistant. Remember what I told you when
Sad.
away, right away, man? Or we aim for the head and then for the leg.
You're one of the people that deserves to be saved, if you would only allow yourself to be.
You have to be when you have to raise, 4 kids on your own, and you're, none of them want to eat, and all of them are having issues dressing up for school, and one of them is on the roof because he's having a temper tantrum, I want to go to the school bus, and then he says,
Perhaps I should have shown my hand a bit more overtly. This master of hers is one of the very blights that I speak of. I see the slimes are out and about.
found PoV. Interesting. Right, I'm gonna try to survive now. There he is.
Rather
Hey,
sizable.
what's going on? I heard something about Ripley.
Oh, Ripley took Martinez on a walk. He's learning about other creatures and beings. And
What?
he tried to grab Misaki a few times, but I
And
couldn't
like
find him.
that, I think I should probably walk away from this. Something tells me it's something I don't want to know about. Lesser slimes are so endearing in a way. Why am I like the world shaking up and down so much when I'm like walking? It's like I'm hitting like a bunch of like just mini little colliders, but like I don't know if you guys can see it. But, like it feels like I'm just like rapid fire like going up like little tiny staircases.
Hello, friend. Have you seen Mr. Rat?
I'm sorry, who?
Perhaps they are out by now.
No, Mr. Rat. He has a big hat and he got a wacky stack.
Oh, Musso thinks, no I haven't.
Oh, that's terrible. I thought he was in this way. Oh.
Sorry.
Well,
as soon as we see him, I will.
And it's a bit
I need
bigger.
to go check on the children
There's
before
no
it's
eggs
too
in it
late.
too.
Alright.
Have you ever had coffee?
Thank you.
There's also, I have also a family with coffee.
Didn't speak much of this, was I? Actually, one moment. Why forget him?
How I know?
You'll miss his chance. You're welcome to join. It's not a private conversation. But
I'm currently guarding
Oh, okay. Don't let me keep you.
Oh, there's Rowan.
When?
Dr. Young, hello.
Greetings.
Oracle Harmony. Were you planning on going over to the gaming den sometime? Because he runs it, and he was about to open it
Right.
up in case you wanted to come in.
Oh. We found him.
We found him, yes. We were just there looking for him.
Excellent.
oh, thank you, Renegade. I was looking for him as well.
she'll hand you a small jar of honey. Musselfinks requested that. If you could give that to him, if he's still inside.
That girl frustrates me.
Are you doing alright, Miko?
I think so. Keyword is think so. Yes. That is usually the case, isn't it? Just a lot happening.
Very much. I'm gonna have to make someone take a calming potion.
Careful. You don't want to become reliant on those things. There are some people that find themselves so high-strung that the only way they can actually have a normal few hours is by downing one of them because they never learned how to deal with it the right way.
I understand. Seems like one of those times. But I have better things. They're just a little busy at the moment.
Yes. Busy being up on a rooftop.
Don't know why he was on the roof, but
Because he was asked to be.
Maklo, I'm assuming? Yeah. Yes. How are you?
Did you enjoy your time with her?
Yes, it was enlightening.
I'm glad. I had a bit of a moment with Miss Aisha. I guess she noticed my visits nearby wherever they were staying and was worried that I was having uncouth thoughts towards the oracles.
Good.
Because I made such a habit of it.
I see.
So, probably your face.
I suppose there were certainly thoughts about them, but I don't think uncouth would be the word that would be used for it.
To be honest.
Quite alright.
Though I guess I guess it wasn't quite as well hidden as I thought it was. I just don't know how to actually deal with it.
That means I might have to,
And then of course we had a little philosophical debate, but of course trying to convince her that she shouldn't be giving any degree of respect to somebody dealing in fear rather than action is like trying to talk to a wall. So
I see.
I do not know.
I try to extend a hand, but
Man who wears a half mask just like me.
until they're ready, to accept the change that they're so afraid of. There's not really much anyone can do,
No, I have
let
not
alone
seen
me.
Hold on, I'm just writing down some notes. Wait a second.
She lashed out at me last week.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Either way,
Which was
what we
surprising.
She didn't lash out at me, per
information
se,
is,
but
power. So no Lee here.
she certainly seems to believe that I am misconstruing her position.
Not that we've seen.
And I try to,
Wonderful.
and I asked
So,
her
EOD
to
specialist
enlighten
done
me then.
When we need an EOD specialist.
And
Phenomenal. Okay.
that's,
Thank you
and
for
yet
your
I feel
assistance.
like their explanation only proved that I did understand. They just are afraid to consider that there are other options than what she is dealing with.
I see.
Everyone is out and about right now.
And ultimately, I guess the question of what's her... why she's so against the idea of equality, as she misconstrues what I meant by that quite unforgivably, I should say. There are always inherent inequalities in life, that is a given. People are not the same, and that should be celebrated. But when people use their positions or differences to ensure that others will never have a hope of a life that is worth living, that should not be celebrated, let alone enshrined into life.
I agree.
And yet it seems that I am in the wrong for suggesting such things, because people could get hurt. But that is ignoring
People would get hurt regardless.
But that is ignoring that people are being hurt the way things are. And for entirely avoidable reasons. If people only had hearts. Trying to remove pain from the world is a fool's errand, that much I can agree.
You can't remove pain.
But there are people...
No matter how hard you try.
There are people that have a vision that does not rely on ensuring the pain of others for the sake of their own well-being and those who are permitted to be upon that ship with them. This is why I supported one such in the past, and why I support one now. Because they see that and they understand that.
I gathered as much.
Having
my talk with her.
If somebody... They should be worthy of respect through the actions that they take to uplift those around them who are looking to them for guidance. Not because they wield power or authority like a weapon and believe it to equate to a respect that is irretractable, unquestionable. Nobody is
Doesn't become respect anymore, it becomes loyalty.
Nobody is inherently owed respect. And yet I fear that despite their words and actions claiming to be the contrary, that Miss Aisha is one who is the victim of such people that believe that respect is inherent and not earned.
I don't know if I entirely agree with that. I would say respect should be inherent until people give a reason that it should be lost. But that means everyone.
When I say respect inherent, it is not to be a blanket, but just because one is a particular kind of person, born a certain way, holds a certain title, that alone does not mean that one is worthy of respect. It is everything else that comes with it. Because one should not make their identity a title. They should be a person first. But perhaps that's just me and the fact that I've had many years to ponder that and have lived through seeing plenty of people that have demanded respect rather than actually done anything worthy of it.
Indeed. She made a request, by the way.
That being?
She asked for you to pick out a tea for her.
Okay, I can...
I offered to give her tea to take back on her journey. And she...
Of course. Easy enough.
Now my question to you, my friend. Do you remember which kinds I have?
I feel like you've expanded since the last time I've actually taken stock, so...
Not recently, no.
Because somebody is good at creating lovely examples of new things.
I can show you the list later if you'd like. Just want to get it to her before she leaves, is all.
Right, before they leave. I forgot about the part where they have to leave after all this time.
If you want to,
Everybody
speak to her before it's too late.
I don't know what to say, though.
I don't either. For me, I wanted to simply to get to know her. Why she chooses to pursue what she does. What she thought of groups of people.
I've had plenty of time to get that feeling for them through all the failed attempts to get her to hate me just because I was different back then.
I know.
But now, when I am trying to do the exact opposite, I suddenly lose the ability to have the words. Having friends is scary enough. Having people that look at you in a different way is even more scary. And at the same time, I don't want to. I don't want to see her cry again. Because of what I did.
If there is one thing I think you should tell her, just one thing. Tell her that she's a good and dear friend to you. Doesn't have to be more than that. But I think that would go a long way for her.
Do I deserve to call her that, though? I know she was confused that I wasn't happy to see her at first.
I know.
It's not because I hate her, it's because I didn't feel like I was ready to see her again. Or deserved to.
And yet you've now been given this opportunity to see her again. You and I both know we will live for a very long time. We may never get that opportunity again to speak to someone.
The question is, do I cause myself pain now or later? Because to admit that I
You care for her.
care. Yes.
I know.
I will live to see her die. It's just a simple fact.
Good day, Lazuli.
Hi, hi. Hi, hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. Mail? Any mail?
Nothing for me.
Not this week, I'm afraid.
I hope you are well.
Much mail to send. Many people give Lazuli mini matters. Yes, yes. Also, got to
Well
see
then.
one of the oracles. It's amazing. Yes, yes.
Well then, I will wish you safe and warm travels.
It's a good day. Very good day. Yes, yes.
I think we will both live to see that day.
In truth, I would also be able to see that of you one day.
I know. No. but that is the way of our lives.
I've lived to see every person that I've ever allowed myself to care for disappear one way or the other. If I was lucky, it was because they grew old.
Miko.
If I was still lucky, it was because they died. But a lot of it was because I'd lost the right to have anybody that cared about me.
And yet now you have someone with you.
Not because I deserve it.
Yes, you do. And I will argue with you on that one every single time. Were I but one like you, I would be more than happy to spend eternity with you. But even in my long life, I will be happy to spend all of that time with you. If it means giving you a time you aren't alone.
You still confuse me sometimes, you know.
Would you have me any other way?
No, I wouldn't.
I love you, you know.
I believe you told me that recently, yes.
I will still say it.
I'm still trying to figure out how I feel.
I know.
About both of you, I should say.
I know.
As for the kind that you should give her, give her the kind you'd make for me.
You are cutting out, I could not hear you.
I was going to say, as for the kind to give her, have it be the same kind that I usually get. If she's going to be asking for my
that I can do.
If she's going to be asking for my opinion on the matter, then she's going to be subject to my tastes.
Then I will do so. She's speaking with Aisha on the far side by the forge.
Yes.
Would you like to go and run over to her?
Or spear.
Just remember,
Money.
no matter what happens, I am here beside you.
This isn't the right place to do it, and if I were, it would not be in front of them.
I know.
I have to get back to work real quick, but
It is open, yes.
Oh, it looks very close. I'll see no one in there.
Well, the ones who own it are right over here.
I don't know what you're up into.
Oh, no, right over there. What is that?
I'm alright, dear.
Very interesting.
I'm
Your side of the world.
I'm gonna sit down and maybe play a game of
Oh, no,
cards.
the nutcase. Okay, I love that. You know that shop over there.
Good luck with that.
You have a slime on your head.
Oh, yeah, that paddle. Leave it down now. I can't get them
My eyes are like really wet. She is actually really scared of missing her chance to talk to Grace again and not leave things hanging like she did.
Yes, that would be.
Where are you all off to?
I think they're off to the lake.
I see. Are you with them, or are you just going the same direction?
I'm just going the same direction for now.
I could certainly have company then.
Fun fact.
Hmm?
I just learned there's another one of our kin in town.
Oh, are you talking about him?
Yeah.
Did he tell you?
No, his lover did.
Oh. Ah, don't I know that's a little bit of a faux pas? Well, if they... As long as you respect it the same way that you would anyone else's. But he's been far more secretive and secluded about it than any of the others have. I'm surprised they decided to let somebody in if that's the case. I've been aware, I just have never had any reason to bother them.
I always figured that it was their lover that was the Arcan, but I was wrong.
Now I'm honestly curious. Who is it that they are close to?
The one in the blonde hair over there. I think Martinez.
Oh, Miss Margarita, I believe.
Margarita.
Interesting. Well, as long as he's happy.
Are you alright, Lara? Could you tell,
You know, the more I think of it, I think the more of it is a bad idea to take on a lover. No offense to you, of course.
Well, I wouldn't exactly... Hold on. Wait. What are you implying about me?
Oh, you and Lotia?
She has said it of her own volition. I have continually tried to convince her that it is not the best idea, but she insists, and I do not know how to respond to it, admittedly. I mean, I'm not against it, but it's more just I especially don't feel like I deserve that kind of attention from anybody.
Is that what your head is telling you, or your heart?
Probably the head. Granted, I am in the unique hell of a position where there are two people that seem to be vying for that sort of bond. And both of them confuse me to no end. Because one should know better, and the other one, by all purposes, should have hated me because I was trying to make them hate me and it didn't work.
Love is complicated.
And the worst part is I don't want to have to choose because I don't want to make the other saddened in the process. so I find myself unable to respond to either of them properly.
May I know who the second one is?
Everybody else, that's what everyone was coming.
We were just out here talking amongst ourselves.
My bad. Continue on. I'll be back.
Perhaps it might surprise you, but it's... funnily enough, it's Grace. She and I knew each other. Granted, she knew me under a different name. So it feels like I've done nothing but lie to her. And yet they still seem to... Even my last attempt to try to convince them that they should just let go of such silly notions didn't seem to work. Instead, she said the exact same thing Lotea said when she saw. It's funny how they had the exact same reaction.
Would you like my honest opinion?
Part of me is afraid to hear it, but go ahead.
In reality, I would say that if you had to make a decision, you would go with Lotea. Not only has she always been there for you, and she knows more of the truth of who you really are, Grace is also an oracle.
And?
No, I'm not trying to put it in.
She doesn't seem
She's
to
only-
care, and if I had really wanted to, I could have been one too. I just didn't want to be.
I'm sure all of us could have probably been that, but...
I mean, I was already halfway there. I sat in with a lot of those lessons back in the day. Because it was the ability to spend more time with Serenity. I never really listened with as much intent as she did, but... doesn't mean I didn't hear it all the same.
And this is going to sound so hypocritical of me, but with Grace, you're holding on to the past.
My past defines me far greater than most usually do. That is the problem. With Grace, I
Yes, and that's
didn't
what
want
Grace-
to acknowledge that they were wanting to know me through the things that I was putting them through and wanting to do it to understand me, and when I realized it, I got scared of her and ran away. I effectively only didn't do that with Lotea because I was in a position where I wasn't able to run yet.
And that's another defining factor. You haven't run away yet from Lotea. Eventually, Grace is going to ask you why you did.
She already did.
If not already.
And I did answer. And yet that doesn't seem to have changed anything about how she feels. Granted, I already kind of knew that because the only reason part of the reason why she wanted to encourage harmony in her to come here was because she knew this is where I had gone to. Granted, it wasn't because I told her, but because the damned harpy that sent the letter for me did.
Yes. And in my opinion, she's still looking at the past you. Rotea is looking at the present you, as you are now.
That doesn't mean she's not worthy of having the same kind of answer. After all, if she was able to care for somebody who is arguably far worse than me now, it just says a lot about her character, more than mine. If she was a normal person, she would have hated me.
Yet she doesn't. I can already tell how close you two are, you and Rotea. With Grace, it's... Well, if you had the same feelings for her, you would be around her more constantly while she's in town.
I mean, I've tried to a degree, but she's constantly being swarmed. I didn't want to add to it, and every time I go up nearby, all the words that are in my head float away, and I just get too scared. It's more that I feel like I am ashamed to say that I like her. Because that inherently means...
I'm sorry if I'm being biased.
Well...
Oh.
What is your bias?
I just watched a raptor run into that cave.
Oh. I believe that's one of the local wyverns or something. Just leave it
anyway,
be and it'll
my
leave
local
you alone.
My local bias, well, my bias, is because I don't even know how to treat love at all at the moment.
Why is that?
I mean, before I came here, I met my first love. I didn't let her touch anything of me for the longest, and then one night she did. Well, the mission I was on from my mother had me spying on a group of venerators. I found out that she was actually one of them.
I could see how that would feel like one of those you thought you knew somebody moments.
Exactly.
Well, in my case...
And that's what caused me to run here.
In my case, it would be that... she would be you in this position. If she was aware of my past.
But Lutea knows.
She does, and truthfully, it greatly bothers me that she does not hold it in any kind of problem.
That's what I would declare true love to be.
And well, for how long I have forced myself to live without connections, given that the last person that I had ever really truly called somebody that I cared for was killed for their beliefs and then erased from all mentions of history. Both the people that I cared for back then, it was their words that I acted off of. To never get close, never be vulnerable. And yet here I am doing that.
Found the thing that's been stealing all
Not
my
once,
eggs.
but two.
It's over there.
Oh. I wasn't aware you had eggs nor that they were being stolen. But yes.
I don't talk to you enough.
No, you
We
don't.
should have a nice cup of tea sometime.
I will make a note of it.
Well, can he kill that in my old age? Oh well. A loss is a loss.
I could, but honestly, now that I know the context for what I have been rambling about for so many weeks, it's kind of funny and I don't really want to intervene.
Oh, it's just so complicated.
It really is. That's much I have found out. And yet, for how many years I have been without anybody who cares, let alone anybody that I could talk to, confide in, or otherwise feel like I wasn't just putting on a show for them. I find that hard to want to intentionally let go of. So part of me feels like if I'm going to have to do it, that I have to own up to what I... own up to my legacy. Because for anybody to know the real me is to know my name, and in that they would probably realize the stains that name has.
It's so funny that you haven't told me. I think I've already figured it out.
I didn't exactly make it super subtle when I was leaving the shrine last week. That I thought that my name sounded a lot better without black in front of it.
It's kind of ironic. My mom used to tell me fairy tales of you.
Yes, the stories have never been exactly too flattering about me. It was never about... The only ones who had ever been somebody that garnered their interest were those who were taking the suffering of our kind in vain and actively supporting those who would see it continued.
May I make a recommendation? I do apologize for using your name. Instead of Black Lotus, why don't you go with Golden Lotus? The colors of your eyes.
Well, that would be because I never chose the name Black Lotus. I am simply...
I know, but I'm giving you an option now.
I am simply Lotus.
Free.
Always had been.
Well,
to change
I meant
that...
if they prefer a different name in the beginning.
If I had to, I would have to earn the different name for me to feel like it's one that other people should call me.
It was just a recommendation.
Besides, Golden would kind of imply that I was a good person. I may try to be now, but that
you are.
I have a lot of people to convince otherwise.
Well, if you need help convincing, I'll be on your side.
That is the thing I have found most strange about this town, is the fact that there are people that know the truth, and yet none of them have ever held me to the flame as much as I have. Perhaps it's just getting to me.
Well, you know what they say. The biggest critic is yourself.
Well, I certainly believe that I have plenty of reasons to criticize myself, given that I have been at this for hundreds of years now, and no real meaningful change has ever come of it. And yet in the short span of about a year, things well beyond my control have enacted or set off the catalysts for change far better than I could have ever dreamed to have accomplished. Partially makes me wonder if everything that I had tried to work for on behalf of her was for nothing. Everything was for another. Their last wish. So I was willing to throw away everything about myself to ensure that they got their wish.
I guess you could say it's time to see what you wish for.
That's partially.
And I shall hold him true to.
That's partially why
I
Grace
shall hold true to
scares
my
me so
opinion.
much. Because she basically represents what I want.
I still think Lutia is better for you.
You wanna know what Lotea said?
What's that?
if the choice is so hard, why choose one or the other at all? She believes that it's perfectly fine to want to have both, and I'm just... I don't know if that would be... Part of me feels like that is avoiding the issue entirely, but at the very least, before she leaves, I do owe her a proper response where I'm not afraid of speaking my mind. The only reason I'm even thinking about it is because the way that it bothered me how she was looking at me the whole time while we were talking. And it wasn't until I thought about it later that the reason why it was so troubling was that it was the exact same way Lotea looked at me. And I know how she feels about me, so it kind of put two and two together.
I mean, Lotea does have a point. You could present both.
And to some degree, I just want to actually properly convey how I feel to her, rather than leave them uncertain or if they had done something wrong, because they had apparently been holding on to that pain for many years now when I disappeared without saying goodbye the first time. And even if she has embraced that title that I gave to her out of derision rather than kindness, doesn't mean that I want to see her continue to uphold it. Speaking of that title, one of the things that I used to try to do to make her dislike me back then was that she was a very emotional person and was very easily led to tears over the smallest things. I kept calling her the crybaby oracle because every little thing would make her cry. Constantly. Because she just held so much emotion for everything. And you know what she did when she came in the talk? She started tearing up, but then she said, "It's still me, the same crybaby oracle you knew." She's been holding on to that title for herself. And she said it was because I gave it to her. The girl doesn't make sense to me. And yet I suppose that's part of why she is hard to stop thinking about. Because in the face of sheer adversity, and many being opposed to what she wishes for the world around her, no matter how many times she cries, she gets back up and keeps going. I suppose I admire that about her because, in many ways, means she's been able to do something I couldn't.
Like I said, the first thing doing type of change is the first step. And a little bit more of her advice is, this time, when she does leave, make sure you say goodbye.
That is
At the very least.
That is the intent. I'm just choked up over the fact that there are going to be far more words I want to say than just goodbye. And I am... Yes.
What brings you all then to town?
Coming back into town, I live here.
I know, but...
After so much, I never expected to see the two of you together.
We were walking the same direction and decided to have a lovely place for
Don't
sea.
lie to me.
We were indeed having a conversation together over by the lake. I was already out here, they were walking out that way. What more do you want from me? I may like to speak in a way that is teasing to you a lot about how I'm really feeling, but in this
Well,
case
I
it
would
is...
like to believe all 5 of us were friends, but...
What? Am I missing something here?
He's been aware of us since day one.
Oh.
Only that. Didn't you? Well, I won't talk about that.
We've had our own conversations, however, that it was simply a talk.
She hasn't been really engaging in with the rest of us in many of the talks about that kind of stuff. She's been kind of doing
Which
her
is
own
entirely fair, considering a Black Lotus involved, but...
yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't talk about that. I was just trying to say hello to friends and wondering what you were both doing together, to be honest.
We were just having a personal talk about things that I have found
for
difficult.
intruding then.
We were just heading back in.
Miko, can I...
Yes.
Can I call you a psychic?
Okay.
You guys can talk about that.
Amari.
I'll go make sure that everything's right.
As we wait for, I guess, Grace.
So... Okay. Okay. I wanted to let you know, because I don't know myself, and I don't know if I do want to know. But, do you remember Catholic Highcliffe? The dwarf who perished?
Yes, I am well aware.
Or was assassinated?
Yes.
Okay, well, his kin are coming next week or perhaps the week after. They're looking for answers.
I see.
I don't know if it was you or if it was someone pretending to be you. And, well, either way. I suppose so. This will ease some kind of burden.
You can make your
I'm
own
not here to
judgment.
judge.
I was gonna say you can make your own judgment on what you want to do with this information, but it was not an impersonator. I actually did do it.
I can understand why.
At the time, I thought I did too. Sadly, I probably did make the wrong call there.
I'd love it if she'd talk to me about it, though.
You can talk to her right now if you want. Like, they're
No.
doing their own thing. Well, probably not right now. Right now.
The important thing is that you grow from it.
That's fair. But
Regardless.
There will be dozens of, well, I don't want to be the one to lecture you. There will be dozens of Catholics in our times. Yes.
Yes.
So, let's hope that we learn from the last one at the very least.
Yes, and in my case, it's more... It's been on my mind just from being aware this whole time who sent them in the first place. And I've been looking at them for the past week.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they feel about me, yet they don't know what I've done, is a very special kind of pain.
Perhaps, well, it is answers in the device. Perhaps I'll do some good if you tell them.
I've already made her cry enough. I don't know if I'd have the heart to truly break her heart.
I suppose that's true.
Oh, ironically, we're going back to the lake.
Funny that. But if they are going out, if that really is the case, and there are people coming looking for answers, if they find them, they find them. Probably is due time that sooner or later I'm held accountable for something for a change.
Perhaps.
Although if they intend to...
I'll leave that decision to you.
If they intend to act upon it, I'm not going to make it easy for them. That's just me.
I have no doubt too, Amanda. Well, to the lake then.
Very well.
Last thing on the matter, I swear. If you are going to decide, make sure to make a decision before she passes. Humans are quick, as you know.
I'm aware. I'm not so cruel as to do something like that.
Yes.
Thanks for the Ripley heads up earlier. Appreciate it.
Yes, well, here's another heads up. They are close to like the base now. Sorry about that.
It's quite alright.
Grace went down by the lake. They're having a meeting with the mayor. You should be able to catch them if you move fast enough.
Yes, I believe we are possibly wanted for it. If it's the one I'm thinking of. It also seems like there's a very large outing.
With Harmony at the very beginning. And I was like, oh my goodness. Wow. okay.
It is Misaki and Miko. Are they allowed in this talk?
Yeah.
Is
We're
this
just gonna
the-
be chatting while waiting on them. They're supposed to show up. Misaki, Miko, the ones that were at last week's meeting.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's this one.
I have to apologize, though. I'll only be here for part of it. I had to go to the UN base.
Frankly, as long
How was
as
it,
enough of... It's very interesting. We acquired pie with ice cream, and it was very delicious.
Was it made by Miss Margarita? That sounds like something she would do.
It was. Yes.
She does that. Yeah.
She's been introducing a lot of interesting and new things around here since they have been here. Some
Really?
of them
You'll
have
to
been.
tell me about it.
Some of them. Right. I'd be happy to.
I'll go find them.
Was
You
Koyuki
don't have
walking?
to-
I think Koyuki was walking with Harmony for a little bit because he was also heading out of town.
Interesting.
As
Interesting.
long- What?
She said Koyuki was walking with Harmony. Interesting.
I've come to not question things about this place.
Should I be concerned?
Oh, that's a really good choice. That's a really good choice.
Yes.
Harmony
Yes,
is
but
not,
probably in a
not
good way.
exactly on the same page, so to speak, when the whole kitsune matter.
Oh.
No. He's more traditionalist, if you may.
I suppose that shouldn't surprise me.
I don't. He is a kind man, but he's older.
He is of more common mindsets.
He is of the traditional teachings.
It is what it is. I'm sure you
I
and
suppose, but-
are more than used to this by this point.
You are talking to the two oldest people out here.
But you're so pretty. Wait, you?
Did you not see how many tails I had? You do
Those
realize-
legends are. Oh.
Yes, they.
I can't. We, for very understandable reasons, hopefully, we cannot go into detail. But I can say that all of them except the one are from age.
Oh. That sorry, I'm sidetracking myself. I feel like
No, it's fine.
Unfortunately, this might be the conversation will be with us.
I'm
I
fine with
suppose
that.
it's
I can hear
perfectly
some people
fine.
behind us, though.
One moment.
Misaki is approaching.
Okay, so she is returning.
Welcome back.
Unfortunately, I think this is the group.
It is what it is.
There was many more yesterday,
It
but
seems so. Yeah. Specifically 2 more.
Unfortunately, I think
I'm talking about people who should have been in this
Yes.
group.
But
Well, Kayuki kind of fell asleep on the way down here. It's probably the best way.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
That tracks.
does it? Is that normal? Okay.
For her.
Yes.
Not for us, for her.
There are a lot of things about Koyuki that are you just kind of get used
Listen,
to.
there's the thing that we said earlier about the age thing. Do not apply that to her. She is 8-tail, but she does not act like it.
Oh, okay. I suppose
She
so.
she has a catnip problem.
Oh, I heard about that. That's a shame. Oh, but if we can get to the point at hand.
Yes, before we distract ourselves further.
I know your friend Vixen raised concerns about it. But I really do partially come here with the intentions of if this town has taught me anything in that time that I've been here, is that there's a chance that people can actually reintegrate with each other. The variety of people, races, backgrounds, everything here shows that there is a future for the Empire where we can be together.
That's the one political thing that I actually like. That's the one mandate that I actually did do as mayor. Is nobody is allowed to just oust somebody because of their culture. The only actual criminals are allowed to be ousted. They're not. You're not gonna see people going, this is an Empire-only town, or this is a Paywinist-only town, or this is Volitionist territory. I don't believe in that. I think that just perpetuates a cycle. That is...
I agree with you.
Bound to continue until people learn to actually just... learn to accept and that other people are different.
It's curious to me. You all most likely have seen this cycle repeat many times. Oh, that's good. She should join us.
We have, yes.
Hello.
Welcome to you.
I'm sure you all have a perspective different than the majority of people here, with time being a factor. This cycle that you have seen through your lives, we can't let it continue. I think you're the best people to know this, as you have all been extremely vulnerable to me. Being able to show yourselves to someone who, well, frankly, if it was anyone other than me, an oracle would have killed you all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it before.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason for that. The hatred that a lot of the oracles have for arbitrary reasons comes from a place of fear, a place of anxiety, and uncertainty about the future that they can no longer see. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Oh, yeah. I've personally known for quite some time.
Impressive. It wasn't until yesterday that I felt it for the first time. Not yesterday, a week ago. I apologize. It's a powerful feeling. For each of the oracles, having certainty about the future was a powerful fact. A certainty in their conviction, a certainty in exactly what they should do. Approximately 80 years ago, that certainty was broken. To my knowledge, 2 weeks ago was the first time that anyone has had a vision in the last 80.
That long.
That would be about
That long.
accurate. That was the last time I felt its presence.
That's one thing, is even us who don't use
approaches.
greater magic
Vixen,
could feel
that's
it.
good. I suspect that is why the hostilities with the oracles has been worsened. Think about it. That control that you had for so many decades, hundreds of years, gone in a flash.
Over 1,000.
Yes, they have. It has been a sore point where, for all that certainty, why use it to ensure that only a few are able to live happily, while the others are trampled upon and forgotten?
I talked about this with Muselfinks a little bit, actually. I genuinely believe that... one moment. That the original oracles had genuinely good intent. They saw futures in which towns were burning, in which people were suffering. They didn't understand at the time that they couldn't change that outcome, but they thought that they could lessen the suffering in the process. And to their credit, a lot of the oracles did. The ability to predict the future is something that cannot be understated as wholly powerful.
I will object to that. I have not necessarily disagreed with everything said, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it is not whole. It is powerful. I do not disagree, and it is absolutely something that can be used for the good. And I do not disagree, but it is not wholly powerful, and our very existence is proof of that. Even when you guys could see things, even at the height of greater magic, we knew how to avoid it. No future is certain. For that, I am certain.
If you would have asked the oracles of old, and hell, even Harmony, the way he would describe it is the outcome is certain. What we see in the visions are destined to happen. It is the process in which you get there that can be changed.
I want to tell you something. It's what Vixen behind us mentioned during the last meeting in passing. Have you heard of Serenity at all? Do they talk about?
Of course I have. I knew of her. I didn't study under her, but I studied her.
there's a reason why so many people rallied behind her, including half of Prima. And that is because you can see other outcomes. The outcome is not guaranteed to always happen. It is just much more difficult to get there to one that is desirable. This is my theory, by the way. I am no expert on greater magic by any means. I am much more experienced in lesser magic. But this is just my observations over the years. And that is,
I can go take care of my other one.
I have seen oracles have visions.
Do take care, sister.
In which they are present in a future for a certain event to happen. And they are right, that event does happen because they had a vision of that event. But they died, and they were not there for that event. There are not grand schemes of things. Maybe a wholly different, wholly similar on the grand scheme, but I think the outcome on an individual level is not guaranteed by any means.
I think you misinterpret. The outcome, yes. While that event happened, his influence was affecting that outcome of him in the vision. His influence was present. It's why part of the hardest part about being an oracle isn't just being a conduit for greater magic, but is the interpretation of these visions. I believe I might know, of the vision that you spoke of. While he was not there, and yes, he died months before the event occurred, his preparations, his actions, and what he left behind greatly influenced the events. While that might not be the same in your eyes, in ours it is.
What I think the biggest key is the willingness to do even things that many would deem awful to ensure that it happens exactly the way that they saw it, instead of using it as a guide for what could happen if things remain on the course that they were.
This is where I disagree with the traditional teachings of the oracles. What they say is because we see a vision, we should help ensure that it happens. I disagree with it. While it may be destined to happen, the way we get there is natural and of your own choice. While that one intersection of choices may be a guarantee, each step you take on the path is your own. A path guided by yourself, your feelings, and those that you carry around you. Surely what I'm saying is heretical, sure. Maybe it was just because until recently I never actually saw greater magic.
I mean, the fact that you're even talking to us is heretical.
I'm aware.
I did want to ask, how does one study to become an oracle when the magic doesn't exist?
We take the teachings of the past, and we do exactly what they did. Honestly, the majority of the Well, Harmony always said that we would just wait. One day the magic would come back. One day the visions would flow once more. And as long as the conduits were ready, prepared the same way as they always have been, then it will flow. He's been waiting for quite a while. I don't know if it's coming back. The fact that I had a vision at all is surprising. You said something about something activated and that happened. Could you explain that?
A magic cube that actually Vixen was there for. She would have the most information on that.
Yes, I do.
The long and short of it is, it seems to have been a cube with greater magic imbued into it or something from hundreds of years ago. And something they did to it whenever they touched it or picked it up or whatever made everybody see something. Some people saw a vision, some people just... Everybody who was magically sensitive, it seems, saw at least some kind of rainbow vision in there. Like, there was... It's hard to describe, but I could see, like...
No, I saw it too.
Rainbow
Don't you worry.
coloring around the edge
You
of my
don't need to
eyes.
describe it.
But then some people saw visions. Some people who are more, I guess, tuned to greater magic or something could actually see a vision.
Perhaps to feel safe in a trying time, such as now.
Perhaps.
Or perhaps something that's holding magic back.
If that second one's the case,
Undestroy an artifact.
Given the age of
I'm
it,
quite-
I would be surprised if it was suppressing it, otherwise it would have been noticed far sooner than 80 years
I've
ago.
only
Yeah,
done
this was a
very
very,
small
very
parts.
old object. Very old.
There were prototypes of it beforehand, and then they crumpled due to their age. I think if done at a moderately slow pace, people wouldn't notice it. I think maybe we should be looking for the absence of magics, instead of where the magic is. Maybe that will be the clue as to what's going on with that. That's my theory about the cube.
And I
The
don't think
absence
that's an
of greater
invalid
magic is
theory.
everywhere.
I really don't. I think that something like this should be approached from all angles. I think limiting yourself to one angle is simply foolish.
I understand. If I may ask something of you, and it's... You have to understand that I'm taking a risk even talking to you, so I hope you understand the risk of what
I
I'm
do.
saying.
I really
with
do.
this. If you do find that this artifact is able to produce greater magic, or something to that extent, destroy it. It's not worth it. One of the things that I've learned throughout my times as being an oracle, while being the conduit for the greater magic, is powerful. It's also intoxicating. Harmony has told many stories about how people have changed, how they became cruel, how they looked down on others the second that they were able to touch just that glimmer of hope in greater magic. While I believe that the original oracles had good intentions, I really do, I cannot say the same anymore.
Absolute certainty, whether it is true or just the belief that it is absolute. makes people feel immune to consequences because they know, or they feel they know, what is inevitable. It does not surprise me that they would let that get to their heads.
I cannot speak for it because this happened before any of our time. But during the very early days, like the first 100, 200 years of the Empire, I have heard stories from my mother who was alive back then. She is unfortunately passed, but she did tell me stories. She said that during the early days, the first Oracle was a very nice person that a lot of people got along with, including Kitsuna. And according to her, as things went on and more oracles started sprouting up in the decades following, everything was alright, but eventually something changed. That's just her perspective. I don't know how true that is, but I do.
No. Even within the textbooks that we learned from, you can see a change. If not in the way that they are described, but in the actions taken. While our history books certainly look upon oracles positively, they do describe the actions in which people have taken. And frankly, the closer that we got to now, the more depraved those actions were in the face of fear. I don't know if they saw that it was eventually going to go away, and they were just afraid. But it never got better. Even the young ones who I know now, people around my age, they're just as radicalized as a lot of them. They feel hatred in their hearts because they feel this amount of superiority through greater magic. And I cannot allow that to happen. If they were to get their powers back, I fear what they would do. Sure, there's instability right now, in which the oracles are slowly losing power. And people will suffer from it. I think in the long term, they'll be spreading out an infection that has been plaguing the Empire. My people, our people, for a very long time.
This may seem kind of absurd for me to say, but naturally, you know how we all want to be ourselves one day without having to.
Sure.
Frankly, I've been looking beyond that. My dream is to study magic of all kinds, not greater magic, I mean magic. And because lesser magic has been subdued for quite some time, we barely know anything about it.
I'm aware.
My mom used to tell me stories about how there used to be some kind of magic that, a lesser magic, quote unquote, that was literally used only to protect it. That was all its purpose was. It could only stop people from getting hurt. that's all it could do. I want to figure out how that worked and do that again. And I also, on top of that, just want people to be able to learn it on their own without it being gatekept. I guess what I'm saying is I want there to be an academy. A new academy that acted the way that Prima did before Oracle site existed.
I see what you mean. Honestly, I disagree with you. I personally think the magic is something that we should leave behind. Even the things such as lesser magic, well, the recordings that I have are few and far between from when it was at its peak. There was still suffering from it. Sure, it wasn't as much.
Anything.
I've been pondering that decision myself, actually.
Anything can
What do
be
you mean?
used to hurt people if you have the intent to
If
hurt
we don't use magic, we're gonna use the things that they have on the other side. Something will happen.
That's the one thing I
And the
feared
fact
out
of
of
the
these
matter is,
conversations.
and the fact of the matter is, I don't even frankly care about the other magics. I just want to learn how to defend people. I know it's hard to understand, but that's all. I can't. My perspective is different even from many other of my kind. I don't care about having to hide personally. I just care that other people have to hide. I don't care that people hurt me. I just care about other people getting hurt. I just want to see other people safe.
Removing a tool isn't going to change that. People are going to use whatever they want as weapons.
I believe
This shouldn't be us to
that
decide.
overall, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Grace. Overall, I really do, but I feel like if we don't even have something defensive, period, these people that we're talking to right now are good people. And we can make peace with them, but there's a lot of other nations on the other side, apparently. And eventually one of them is going to try to start some kind of conflict, and if we can't even just stop something from hurting us while we hang out and just don't do anything, then eventually there's just going to be just as much suffering as there always has been.
You sound a lot like the first Oracle. The first Oracle saw that there was power that could be taken, and that it could help people, defend people, protect them from the futures that she saw. But what happens 5, 6, 7 generations after that? When her teachings are nothing but a whisper or a page in a book.
I don't know.
Would you be willing to shoulder the responsibility of what the newest oracles have done as the original one?
I would.
The progenitor.
Do you think a cobbler or a carpenter goes through these same thoughts when they invent something new?
I don't. I know it's hard to understand, but it's what I've always done. I've always done that. I have literally always done exactly what you just said.
Then frankly, I think you're making a mistake. I've only been here for a week.
They're talking. Let them talk.
And even I can already see that what they have on the other side of that gate.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much magic or greater magic or anything we have. Sure, we could learn some lesser magic to protect ourselves from bandits. Sure, why not? That'll help us on the small scale. But when it comes to your worries, your anxieties, on what the future that might hold with these other nations, we've already made a decision.
Just tired of it.
I'm aware. We've decided to give up Valis. Sure, this will still technically be Empire land. But in terms of what happens here, you'll be on your own. It's too far away from places that, well, let's just say, if an oracle had come here and decided that you were all heretics, it would take quite a while for anything to even arrive here. And that means even if we wanted to help you, it isn't realistic. So instead, unfortunately, we have to hand you over to them. They're not your leaders, no. You are the proprietors of your own destiny. But now it'll be in your hands instead of the Empire's. No more red tape. No more waiting months. It's your choices. Your futures to craft. Frankly, in my eyes, since there hasn't been a future told in 80 years, that means anything's next. Who are the oracles to say what should and shouldn't happen?
He needs you. He's, you know. Well, yeah. They think that you'd be the best to help around. Well, I got this.
Yes.
Who needs help? Cheetah.
I can't imagine how long you've been struggling.
Cheetah needs help with something. Go on.
Never gonna get over these fucking toes.
And get him under you.
A long time.
Right.
I've felt the same pain, but I've
regardless of whatever we all decided, And regardless of whoever's opinion ends up winning out in the end, I really do appreciate you. For even just giving us a fucking chance.
When you see something that needs to be fixed, gotta do something.
Oracle Harmony is on his way, so...
It's almost time for me to go.
Yeah. Thank you for this.
Don't thank me yet. The work has not yet to be done. There's more to do. This is the start.
It's just the start.
And please, do keep what I told you to yourself. Trust is a two-way street.
I'm well aware.
It is.
You need help,
It has been a long time, hasn't it?
I would like a lady to help me out.
Now, shame I was gonna say maybe I should go get Lee and get him to lift you.
Well, as a gentleman, why didn't you ask first?
I'm more of a gentleman than you.
Oh, please.
Would you like to go for a walk?
Ain't nothing gentle about
Just
me.
a quick one before we have to go.
I'd like that.
Go and check it out. The weather has changed.
Time of day.
It still amazes me how bright the stars in the sky are. Yes.
I didn't.
Shall I inform Harmony that you will catch up with us in a moment?
Yeah, I blinked.
Tell him that I have one last meeting.
Constantly.
If he wishes to start to head to the next village, he may.
We will be at the winery.
Now, feel your tongue in your mouth.
Yeah.
Your lips are really dry.
I talked with your friend.
So she had told me.
Note.
She said it was very enlightening on her end. She also told me about the request you had made.
We did get the tea. Doan has it. It's hard to express the range of emotions that I've felt. When I first saw you, it was disbelief. When we first talked, I didn't believe it was real. And then when I saw how much you've changed, it was heartbreaking. Maybe it's just me.
I mean...
Perhaps I was just stupid. It was a long time ago. It was 7 years in the past.
Great Grace. Back Back then I was different. Yes. Because everything to me was something to be afraid of. Something to be afraid of getting close to people. I have held so many different names over my lifetime that I've lost count of them. Because the one thing
And
that
Esme?
I feared is but one of them. Even the names that people here knew is just but one of many, because what I feared more than anything was connecting to people. I didn't want to be known.
Did I know anything about you? From the feelings that I had, real. Was it my fault for falling for the trick of the light?
Because of your persistence. Despite everything I tried to do to get you to not want to be here with me. The reason I ran was because you were seeing past
Can't I hear you?
the masks that I had put up in front of everyone else.
I can hear you now. That was weird.
You were knowing me, and that's what scared me. Because I wasn't ready to be known.
Oracle Harmony is over at the tower. He asked me to bring Grace.
It's been a whole thing over here.
Meet at the bridge, I think?
Then it was all for naught.
They probably should be making their preparations.
Years of trying to find you.
It's dark.
Years
Probably shouldn't leave it around sunset, but
of looking for the person who I loved.
longer than expected.
Or was it the idea of you, the concept of what you were?
I didn't exactly want to speak up, but you know, here we are.
Grace.
Well, luckily for you, seems you found someone. She's a good friend. Good person.
Grace, if you had known, if you had seen more of me, your heart would have been broken
wouldn't have
worse.
changed anything.
You don't know what I have done with my life. The reason I feel so ashamed to and unworthy of the feelings you had and held for me is because I never deserved them. Especially now.
Who are you to determine who I can love? Just
made countless mistakes over the years. Who, just like the oracles that I have always looked at as people using their positions to enact change upon or enact a world upon people that they thought was right. I've let my own title do that to me. I let it shape me. And one of the first people that was showing me that wasn't the only way it had to be was you. And I wasn't ready for that change. Instead of handling my problems or my uncertainties, I ran away from them. If anything, I hurt you worse in the process. And if I had just stayed and tried to understand you the way you were trying to understand me.
But then you would have at least been there. I won't claim to try to understand. I'm not foolish enough to. It's time for me to go. Can I ask just one thing of you?
And that is...
What is your name? Your actual name?
It's Lotus.
No, that... That doesn't make sense. It's just another one, right? No, it's...
No. It is my true name.
Esme. Why me? Why do you torture me so?
Because I want you to know who I actually am if you were to. If you wish to care for me, I want you to care for the one that has been made to be in the shadows of my own fears. Which would mean you would have to...
Does she know?
She does. She also knows what a tortured legacy that name has. I want to tell you, but I fear if I did, you would truly actually hate me. But if you really wish to know, I would tell you its legacy. If only
Thank you for telling me. Specifically.
I am not proud of the life that I have lived. A lot of it has been born on the very same things that I have held against others, because I felt it was justified. But I'm glad that you have known me. And I am still believing.
Thank you for telling me this. After I've done this much for this village. For I am afraid of what I would have done before.
What do you mean?
Everything that I have been searching for is a lie from you. Not your feelings, not that feelings that I felt. Not those times that we spent together. The feelings that we shared, all of it was a lie.
Wasn't a
For what? Did you succeed in your goal? Did you get further along in what you need? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you needed? Because I'm glad that I could have helped you get further along in whatever you needed. I'm glad I was a stepping stone for her.
You were not.
I'm glad that you could trample on everything that I felt.
That was never the intent at all.
And yet that's the result. I hope you're happy with where you are now. I will look in the past fondly. But there is a future to change. She's very nice. You better not hurt her.
Wrong way.
Esme is a memory of the past now. Good luck, Lotus.
Oh, Grace.
He knows that you'll meet me.
Who even am I?
Come here. Come here. Come here. Don't cry. I'm here.
Don't touch me.
Lotus, what's wrong?
I don't deserve any of this.
No. Come here. She's gonna hold you. She's gonna hold you. Come here.
Please don't.
Shh. Shh. Come here. Lotus, I'm here. I'm here. It's okay. I'm not gonna leave you. Come here. It's okay. I'm here. I'm here. It's okay. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Why did I think I could... Why did I think I was worthy of anyone?
I'm here.
When the lies come forth, they all leave me just the same.
I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. I love you. And I do not lie. I love you, Lotus. It's okay. I'm right here. Please. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Please.
I wanted her to see the real me. Like you had.
I know. I know.
I believed she was
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I wanted to be. I could be loved. If I just.
You are loved. You are loved. I love you. Every part of you I love. The good, the bad, all of it. I see you, Lotus. I love you. I truly love you.
Why?
Why do I love you?
The person you got to know was a lie too, just like her.
No.
I'm not
Because
Miko,
to
I'm
her-
not Esme, I'm not any of the other names.
No. You are Lotus. You are Lotus. You are someone that I love, that I have gotten to see through the masks, through the persons. Deep down, I see a beautiful person. Despite all the good and the bad, someone that I can give my heart to. That is why I love you.
I've ruined everything.
Because
though.
I see.
all
And I
the-
would still love you regardless.
I destroyed her dreams.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Part of her dream was wanting to see a world where I was happy. And it wasn't even the person. I wasn't even the person she.
Come here. Come here. Shh. It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay!
Hey.
I finally was ready to admit how I felt about how I was feeling. I didn't even get the chance. Because I'm a fucking idiot.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm right here. She's still holding you.
She doesn't care.
Lotus. Lotus. Just very gently caress your ears. Hey. Lotus. I love you. I will be here. I will be here with you. Through the good, through the bad, through the happiness and the pain. I will be here with you. Because I care and truly love you. No matter how much you may think otherwise, I love you.
I was so happy.
I know.
I was so happy when
I know. I know.
I wanted to hear
I know.
her say it too.
I know.
But you said this. You two said the same thing when you saw the real me. I thought that meant they would be the same. In the end,
my dear Lotus.
Nobody.
My dear. My dear precious Lotus.
Nobody.
Oh, my dear.
You know what?
Sometimes.
I always lose the people I love. First
You haven't lost me.
It was Serenity.
You haven't lost
Or
me.
Delia. And now her too.
Over here.
When is it gonna be you next? Everyone I love goes away.
Come here. Come here. Come here. You won't lose me. Not for a long, long time if I have anything to do with it. You won't lose me. I will be here, right beside you. Come here. I am right here beside you, my dearest. Oh, come here. Come here. It's okay.
You're wrong with my eyes. Why does this
done
always
nothing
keep
wrong.
happening? No matter what I try.
It's okay. It's okay. You are here. I am here. And you aren't alone, or it's okay. It's okay. I love you, Miko. I love you. All of you. You are someone special. Someone that I care about. Someone that I want to spend my life with.
Oh, damn, a fraud even to you!
Shh, no you're not.
When I realized how you cared about me early on, the only thing I thought about was how that could be useful to me, not because I actually did. I don't deserve your love.
Hey. Come here. Come here. Look at me. Look at me. No matter what happened, no matter what would have happened, I still would have cared for you. Even if it may not have turned into a love.
But
I still care for you. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I saw someone hurting inside, who so desperately wanted someone beside her, yet knew not know the words to say. She wanted someone to be there with her, to hold her, to say her real name, to maybe, should it come to it, to feel loved, because I know you deserve. I don't care what you say, I don't care what you believe. You deserve that. And I want to give that to you. Every day, I want to give that to you. If only you will allow me. I don't want to lose you. I want you to be here with me. Because I care for you. Okay? I don't want to see you hurt anymore. Mhm.
I still don't understand you.
Maybe one day you will. One day, I think you will. But each and every day, will love you. I will be there. You. I love you, Lotus.
Love you too.
I love you. So much.
I love you too.
Come here. Now, my dearest, you feel up to going home together? It's getting cold, and I don't want to stay out too long. Come here. I didn't expect. I'm glad I found you.
How did you even know where I went?
You left tracks very easily in the ground, dear.
I spent the whole day fretting about this. About how to not break her heart and...
You make me notice.
And in the end, she broke mine.
I know. Lotus. Look. It's a beautiful night out. Let's go home.
When it rains, it pours, by the way. Koyuki told me that apparently relatives of Kazalek are coming here next week. They're looking for answers.
I see.
Which
We will
means they're
face them
looking
together.
for me.
And I will be there beside you. I will always be there beside you. How did she even know that they were coming?
I guess some letter that was sent ahead is my guess. It might have been sent to her given that she works closely with Almari.
I see. Good evening.
Get you all farewell.
Have a safe travel back. For now, though, there's a concern for another day. Tomorrow. Tonight. Tonight we rest. And I will be there with you.
I hate those stairs.
I do too. Do you wish to hide yourself before going in?
Right.
You're beautiful either way, you know. Hey, Lotus.
What?
I love you.
I remember.
Would you like to go to my home or yours tonight?
No, he's not a mister. This is my lover. If he was a mister,
All right.
mister someone else.
It's like a saying. You know, maybe I don't even know if Jan is, familiar with that. Is that a thing from what you know?
Good night, Varys.
Good night. I don't think it's a secret. I think it's just
Come in.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad. You have nothing to be sorry for. You're fine. Welcome home. My dear Lotus. I'm glad you are here with me.
Thank you for not leaving me.
I will never leave you. Never. I will always be by your side.